Day in Vancouver, running 2 minutes late today. We like to usually start at 4:06. Other shows start at 4, but we need that extra 6 minutes to actually come up with a show. So welcome, I'm Marijuana Man, and this is From Under the Seed Desk every Wednesday here in Vancouver. I'm joined here at the desk by my good buddy Al, the Alchemist.
How's it going?
He's not microphoned.
Oh, I don't.
He didn't microphone that in.
I'm all like preoccupied with this beautiful rig that I just scooped from Corey Cottenham. It's a collab between legendary Corey Cottenham and Steve Sizelove.
It is a magnificent piece. I think it's
Quite a magnificent piece.
Just getting the inaugural dabs and tokes run through it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you had a hit on it yet?
Nope. Just getting some shit together here. There we
We'll
go.
let Al get his stuff together. So yeah,
I had to compromise and go buy a drop down, but there's a custom drop down with this that sits the sublimator nice and low, so it's fucking dope, yo.
and some very fine goo. What is that? Do we know?
Yes, this is some live resin. Sorry, live resin from West Coast Collective.
Nice. That was. I just had a hit. That was very tasty.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff with Temple of Calyx gear lately, and yeah, this is some of the gear.
So yeah, we're here every Wednesday high atop Mark Emery's Cannabis Culture headquarters down here at on West Hastings in Vancouver. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop in, say hello. I work the seed desk, Vancouver Seed Bank, at the back of the store in Mark's shop. So come on down, check us out online too, vancouverseedbank.ca for all your growing needs. We can get you all the cool strains out there in the world. So get your granddaddy perp in gear. Come on down, see us. And do stop in. The lounges here too are open 7 days a week until late every day for coming down and dabbing and smoking and having fun.
All of that.
So check that all out. Yeah, we've got the Chronic Susan here. Still loaded up with the last bit of the Romulan Mikado.
Beautiful.
But it does continue to get better. Now,
Continues to get smaller.
usually in between is Kush Queen, but she's not here. Now we
That's
have
what's in between.
That's what's in between is live resin. So yeah,
So I got all on this low temp stuff. Does anybody got any Q-tips in the house?
Q-tip.
J-Max on the Q-tip quest. Yeah.
The quest of the Q-tip. So, what else? The title of today's show is Everybody Hates Us. So we got to be doing something right.
Fucking right.
Yeah, all over the world, we seem to be the most openly hated group of people in the world. There's Carly Marley. Maybe we'll
Carly
get her to talk to us for a minute first.
Well, in a moment, I'm just doing a walkthrough of our building.
This is a walkthrough?
Yeah, I'm going to speed it up and make your video so you can see all the cool stuff that we have at our Hastings location.
Somebody should be videoing the walkthrough.
J-Max
Shouldn't
got
they?
Q-tips. Thanks, bro.
Nice. Well, yeah, here in Canada, every group that can possibly come out of the woodwork is coming out of the woodwork to hate us.
To hate us. Us
Yeah.
personally or our demographic?
Our demographic.
Ah, fuck, that's no biggie.
No, it has ramped up a lot where now they're just more open about it. The doctors, they don't want to treat us. The banks have said they don't want to take our money. The government doesn't want
Banks
to.
are definitely hating on us.
Yeah.
The doctors, I don't know. We covered the doctors.
No, doctors
There's
are...
only like 16% of them that cared to answer. Or something.
yeah.
And out of that
the
percentage,
survey,
fucking none of them really gave a shit.
there was 4 doctors are actually against us out of them all.
4 doctors were asked.
Yeah.
One of them answered. On behalf of 3 of them.
Mark and Cannabis Culture are keeping the motion going, that's for sure. Opening in a new dispensary in downtown Peterborough.
Sweeping the nation.
Now, which is good. Here's the little thing that the guy wrote, though. Clifford was
Borough
the
of
guy's
Peters.
name. He said, a new marijuana business has opened on George Street in downtown Peterborough. Cannabis Culture is now operating in the city core. It's a local branch of the Cannabis Culture stores with locations in Toronto and Vancouver. The business sells marijuana to customers over 19 with no medical prescription required.
What? That's preposterous.
And then he says some marijuana dispensaries in Canada sell marijuana and other cannabis-related products to people with medical prescriptions
Greg.
for the drug.
What about the kids? Like what
Cliff-
about the children?
Clifford didn't mention the kids. So
Is he a big red dog?
I don't know what he is. to have written such a little lame little piece.
Yeah.
It's now operating in the city core. Like the core of any city is a fucking wonderful place to begin with. The downtown of most cities is probably the scariest place. But good on the folks that are pulling that all together in Peterborough. We need more dispensaries is the key to it all. We have to now fucking oversell the government, right? Hey?
At one time it was overgrown. Now it's undercut and oversell.
Yeah, undercut and oversell everybody. As many people as possible that can open dispensaries, open them. And there'll be just so many that they won't be able to contend with it, and they will fold under the pressure, is what
I'm just
I'm
waiting
hoping.
for like some heavy-duty lobbyists to open up a cannabis bank. So you know what's
Well,
going to happen.
no,
You know
that-
somebody's going to open up.
It's already happened.
There we go.
Yeah.
How was that for a segue?
I came up with that idea myself 2 days ago. I looked it up, and there's already a guy doing it.
That guy's already out there.
Yeah.
So if you need weed money, you can just call this guy and be like, "Hey man, I got an idea for a weed business."
Well, I'm not too sure about borrowing money for a weed business from that bank other than them doing the banking kind of deal for you.
Ah, yeah, no,
Taking
I'm talking like a full
Taking your cash and laundering it. Where did Carly go now?
She's gone, man.
There she is. Well, come on in and join us.
Do it.
Would you like to be joining?
In between.
This is scary. I don't know if I'm gonna use that like that.
Yeah, Carly's gonna dive in here with us today.
I'm gonna wait for the superior.
Welcome to
drop
the
down
show.
Direct from the artist.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And I don't know, we're doing some new stuff with Facebook here in the live realm. What the hell is going on? Oh, Carly gets the toke.
You're gonna go drop right from the top. Go hard.
Wow, that bubble's pretty nice. So yeah, we've hooked up somehow with Facebook. We made a deal with them. We got to say face at least 18 times per broadcast.
Face.
So, and we want to make it as natural face as possible.
When I was a kid, that
You
used to
don't
be an
want to.
insult.
Face.
Face.
Thanks.
Yep, you just
Face.
totally got faced.
Yeah.
Totally got faced, man.
Faced book.
Face.
I've never heard that one.
Whatever, face. And King was another one. It's like, yeah, whatever. King. You're king. And you do that.
And you do that.
That's you just crown the king. There you go, king.
You could probably do that, just that, not say anything.
And that's what it evolved to.
Yeah,
I
you-
feel like
you
there's
know
an
it did.
implicit the king of there.
Nope.
No?
Nope, you're
There's
king.
no implication there?
King
You're
of
just
you.
the king?
You're
Just
the king of you.
Okay.
You're king.
So tell me more about this Facebookery.
Well, we're broadcasting live now on Facebook, which is very exciting because we're able to get a lot more viewers because we're able to broadcast directly on our Facebook page, which is really exciting and really awesome. And we're
So
really happy about
potentially
that.
some of the viewers right now are new,
Yeah, very well could be.
sitting at work.
There's 403
watching us. 403. Well, we'll need 17 more.
Yeah, 17 more, and we're shutting the doors.
We only got 2 minutes till
That's
4:20, so we need 17
on.
more. Get on your phones or your coworkers.
Yep.
Share the link. Yeah, we also have some other exciting social media stuff.
What do you got?
going
What do you got?
on.
What do you got? What do you got?
So excited to announce this. Pot TV finally has Instagram.
It's about time.
I know. I'm
Like,
so
get with
excited.
the 90s already.
Yeah, so you guys can follow us now at Pot TV Network on Instagram.
Captain
Nice.
Analog here has had Instagram for like almost 2 years now.
Yeah, and we're gonna get everyone posting on it. and
That's a wonderful
sharing
thing.
videos. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. We'll get
No
you
doubt.
posted on there,
I'm
putting
not
your
posting
dab
on
videos
Pot
up.
TV.
So
I'm scared.
There'll
of
be
it.
a flood.
yeah, I'm really.
I
excited.
just don't know if I'm ready to put myself out there in public about me and my cannabis usage and stuff.
It is
I-
a
I
scary
might-
thing coming out of the
I
cannabis closet.
might just like sit back and see how it goes for a while, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
rights.
that
I'm
Well,
is
totally
that's
down.
403 witnesses that you have.
What?
Right now.
that is
Now I'm
very
scared.
exciting.
I'm a 12 follower of Pot TV.
Nice, thanks. We just got our 12th follower on Instagram. That's very exciting.
Yes, we shall lead those people into the promised land of legalization. The promise of legalization land.
Well, it's something they've just been promising and promising. And
Yeah.
promising.
The bud dangled in front of you. No, the Canadians, well, they're starting to question all this shit and want to know why this is taking so long, and they're all getting itchy to get their little programs going.
It's because they got bed bugs in Ottawa.
No. But here is a
City Hall's
some encouraging
Parliament's
news,
got
though,
bed
in
bugs.
terms of people not hating us as much. Oh, it'd be 4:20 here in Vancouver.
Holy shit, that happened fast. That's what happens when you start the show at 4:10.
Yeah, well,
You don't
4:08.
got to wait that long for 4:20. It's way better. Just saying.
The hope it's 4:20 wherever you are, and if it's not, let's pretend it is. Hope you got a chronic Susan just like this one. There's no fish in the tank too today either.
There's
is
already
there?
a knockoff.
We got, huh?
There's a knockoff.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Weed Susie Spinner.
Huh. It's kind of a long, clunky name.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. It's square.
But-
It doesn't really spin that
Okay.
well either.
Yes. Imitation
saying.
is the highest form of
Something.
ripping you off. Eh?
You know, it's interesting actually. I saw something. I didn't get time to watch the video, but I was thinking of that earlier when I saw in Colorado. Can't remember what the program was, but there's some sort of program where they're giving people free weed for cleaning up around the city.
Good gig.
But it made me think of in Vancouver how we do that every year on 420, and that's how we get people to help us clean up. And now they're doing it in Colorado, and I was like, cool. I wonder if they drew some inspiration from us up here.
Free weed is
Let's just
quite a
start that
motivator.
campaign on the regular.
Yeah.
I've gotten people to do all sorts of things for weed.
I don't know if we should get into that on Pot TV.
No, probably not. But yeah. So yeah, there is one group now who's maybe not so hating us, and that would be the Ontario Chamber of Commerce Association.
Really?
Yep, they're in the news today. They are saying to the Premier Wynne that private retailers should also sell pot. So they're beginning to come to the realization that this is a crooked fucking deal if they don't, and that it's not going to succeed. These are the people who actually do retail business in the world, and they know. Pretty influential bunch, too.
The fact of the matter is, it's not legalization unless we can buy our weed how we want to buy our weed and sell our weed how we want to sell our weed. It's still prohibition. It's just a slightly more lenient form. Like, it's still that you have to do things the government's way. That's not legalizing cannabis. That's them legalizing an industry that they've created
Wow.
for themselves, not the
That's-
industry that we are asking them to legalize.
That's the slavery we've subjected ourselves to.
And you'd
Driving,
think that-
all of that.
You'd think Carly was a member of the Chamber of Commerce, because
That was
that's
very well
exactly
very,
what
very
they
well spoken,
said.
Carly.
Yeah.
They said that they caution the government against creating a system that is so onerous. Did you say onerous? No,
I
you
didn't, but that's a
Okay.
really good
I
word.
don't know what it
You
means.
did earlier when you were going through the practice run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We always
Nah.
get it right on dress rehearsal.
So they caution the government against creating a system that is so onerous that it effectively duplicates the existing ineffective regime, thus sustaining illegal channels for production and distribution.
What?
I don't agree with that statement at all.
That is fucking
Could you repeat
such
it?
legalese bullshit. But it's not bullshit. But what they're saying is that they can't overregulate it. It's got what they're doing is effectively duplicating the prohibition that they have in effect now.
Yeah.
So they're cautioning them against it. But then they came out, as they do, with some fucking really goofy thing. And they went on to say that a licensing system whereby a fixed number of access points are auctioned out to both the public and private sectors. Auctioned. They want to have the whole program of being able to sell marijuana and to produce marijuana auctioned. What the fuck is that? To the highest bidder?
That's ridiculous.
Fuck off. How about that, Chamber of Commerce?
Well, especially considering how many people in the industry are doing everything they can to raise funds to put directly back into legalization and into activism. And if we hadn't been doing that for all these years, we wouldn't be where we are now. So it's like we put in all our money into getting to this point, and then they're like, well, maybe you guys could just spend some more money. It's kind of fucked up.
No, that's bullshit having an auction. That's not fair at all. They should have as many marijuana distributors as want to get into the game. They should make it easy and cheap for you to do it. And the same thing with producing marijuana. They should make it easy and cheap for you to do it and allow anybody who wants to do it, for fuck's sakes.
Well,
And
how is
then-
that considered democracy to say that this right will go only to the highest bidder?
Yeah, democracy. We're not guaranteed.
Well, the fact that they
guaranteed
reserve
that.
the right to do so is democratic in itself.
Yeah.
And that's the conundrum of the system that we've
No, there ain't no
supported.
democracy. It's capitalism straight up. But at least the Chamber of Commerce, they're pretty fucking heavyweight, I gotta say. So they say weird things too, so I don't like that. Have to watch them. But keep opening dispensaries. Like in Calgary, where a marijuana accessory store sees the possibility in pot legalization too. Now, this is a longtime business owner in Calgary. He's been there since the 70s. His name is Vlasis Dovis, and he's the owner of Hemp Roots in Calgary. And it's been there forever. Says he's making space in his 3 retail stores in anticipation of the new pot legislation. Now he says, if it's allowed for me to sell marijuana, I would in all forms. Be it flower, be it concentrate, capsules, or whatever the case may be. I'm going to sell it all. Really nice old guy, right? He's been there forever. And the story goes on to talk about how, you know, his daughter, who's 19, is fixing to take over the retail store and expand that, and is excited about the potential new marijuana market. And as I read the story, I thought, well, like really, these are the people that are in the business. They're the same kind of people that are in the industry. It's not fucking organized gangs. Like, it's just not.
Well, the way
right?
they're able to call it organized crime is you have a group of people who are organized. So they say that no, I'm not even joking. So the RCMP calls that an organized crime syndicate because it's a mom and pop crew that have their shit together, and they got trimmers and they got, you know, guys that water for them, guys that do their transplants, and they just run the show. Huh. And so they say the RCMP just lumps them into the same category as like large scale gangs because they're a syndicate. That's why they use that term too.
Sorry, guys,
Syndicate?
I'm gonna have to
Well,
head out.
if
I
you
have more
notice,
things to do.
they've
Carly's
attached
gonna
that.
Having
split.
me on.
You rowdy?
Yeah.
Thanks
got
for
my
coming.
sponsor. Thanks.
For the update and see all the fun things that can happen now on Facebook because of this.
They've
See
kind
how
of
long
attached
Facebook lets us do this.
that terminology to it. Oh yeah, I don't know that that's gonna last very long.
Yeah,
Facebook's
you
like,
tell
"You
all your
can't do that
tell
here."
all your friends to watch this episode.
Doing. Yeah, just this episode and then we're done.
Yeah.
Where's my backpack?
That's a good question.
Is my backpack anywhere around there? Yeah.
Take one? No, fine.
So,
Sure, if it's there.
that's some good weed.
I lost my
gotta say.
backpack.
Yes. Fairly important, the backpack.
Well,
be
it's got
located.
like rolling papers and ID, which are pretty important. The ID is not so important right now. The rolling papers are where it's at, though.
This one?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Jeremiah's in the house here. I forgot to mention that Alyssa's flipping the buttons and pushing the switches.
Came back and editing his first.
I feel like
I
when
got
we
one,
do that,
thanks.
we should have, like when we're announcing Alyssa and what she's doing, we should have a button and it plays AC/DC's Flip the Switch.
Huh? That'd be good.
Yeah. It's fucking rock and roll. It's rock and roll.
We do have the aquarium cam today, but seems like there's not many fish at the reef today.
Tap on the window.
There was some very lively ones earlier.
Yeah, fishy, fishy.
If any come by, we'll show you. Now, here's the thing going on in Miami, talking about people not liking marijuana.
Miami, you're Yami.
Right?
It's all of our Yamis.
Down there on Ocean Drive, the Miami City Commission could ban pole dancing, chain restaurants, and medical marijuana.
What?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say chain smoking.
Yeah. This summer, after a heated discussion about crime, shady business practices, and general seediness down there on Ocean Drive, Miami Beach Mayor Phillip, he asked the commissioner, Ricky Areola,
Ricky Nipples.
to meet with business owners to devise a
Ricky
plan
Nipples.
of attack. Although Areola says the pole dancing ban isn't aimed at any one business. How many businesses would have the pole dancers,
6.
do you think?
A couple gas stations. Well, there's
not
that,
aimed at
there's
any
that
one
alligator
business.
business that has the pole dancers. They're contracted for grow room security.
So they're all. The proposal is, if the proposal is approved, liquor stores, tattoo parlors, pawn shops, cash checking stores, and medical marijuana dispensaries would also become unwelcome on Ocean Drive.
Trying to clean up
So
the image on Ocean Drive.
Ricky Areola. Yeah, they only want rich people on Ocean Drive. That's what they're saying. Get rid of anything to do with poor people or regular people. They just want high-priced restaurants.
Well, why don't they just turn them into high-priced tattoo shops, high-priced strip clubs, and high-priced weed stores?
Because Ricky isn't quite that forward-thinking.
Ricky's not that astute, eh?
No, he's all about banning the pole dancers.
He's got quite the name on the streets, I'll tell you.
This is South Beach, down on the beach. This is what they want to have. Like, how fucking exciting is that? Oh, let's go down Miami South Beach and do nothing. No strippers, no weed. Can't cash a check. Can't pawn your fucking life to
But
get
what a view.
more pole dancers
What
and
an
weed.
amazing view.
Yeah. So what do you can eat overpriced food?
Yep. Enjoy your retirement.
That's what they
and-
want. Yeah. Push your walker down the street.
What the pound gold.
Now, here's another guy. This is the LRPD. Where do you think that's from? LRPD.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What's happening, David?
Hey, hi.
There's David Malmo-Levine.
Here's your key, man. It's right next to the-
I am the key master. Thanks. Yeah, LRPD is Little Rock. Down Little Rock. Now, the Little Rock police chief, he said that marijuana measures are a scam. That was his
It
conclusion.
depends if your scale's properly calibrated.
No. He says it's a scam, it's a Trojan horse to recreational use of marijuana.
A Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you let medical marijuana in, recreational is soon to follow. It's all recreational in fucking Arkansas right now. Isn't it? They don't have medical marijuana, so all the
It's
marijuana
just a
smoked
complete
is just
recreational.
recreational. I think the Trojan horse is out of the barn. Really, don't you? Like,
All right, that's it. Your Trojan horse.
he's
is out
the
of barn.
chief of police, too. I think the LRPD chief is a scam.
He could be.
He is. He's like a Trojan horse to poor policing.
That's fucking
Or
funny.
just a Trojan. I don't
Can I
know.
borrow your lighter there, sir?
Of course. So, yeah, Miami, down on Ocean Drive. Ricky Areola doesn't want pole dancing. I don't write this shit. How do you do that?
No, we have a crew that writes for us.
Yes,
And they fucking nailed it on that one, eh?
they did.
They
yeah.
really nailed that.
No, I said nobody's going to believe the name Areola. Come on. But they did. Everyone believed it.
I just
So,
thought that was so clever that they came up with that.
yeah.
Because we got to think of who we're dealing with.
Well, we don't know who we're dealing with now because there's
Well, there's been so many
potentially
fucking
a
changes,
some
right?
new people, yeah. So, if you haven't seen the show before, sorry about that.
I heard there's a coyote writing for us now.
Potentially, we have a
Same.
lot of animals that write the show. Lemurs, monkeys, one typewriter, infinite number of monkeys.
Yeah.
So it's quite
All
a
in a
lineup.
line.
Quite a lineup.
And then,
So
yeah,
here's a new study.
it's amazing.
Daily marijuana use is linked to lower body mass index. Huh. I don't know about your upper body mass index, but it's linked to your lower body mass index. Now, people who smoke marijuana regularly tend to be thinner.
Really?
Yeah.
That scares me. Because I hate to think what I would look like if I quit smoking weed.
Well, little chance we're going to see that. Now, in the study, researchers looked at more than 13,000 adults. They just looked at them. They
They're like,
fucking
oh yeah, I
knew.
can tell.
Yeah, they could
Just by
tell.
fucking looking at
Next,
you.
bring them in. They collected body measurements to calculate the participants' BMI. Don't like saying that. Rather say body mass index.
TMI.
And tested the participants for marijuana use. 6 years later, when the participants
That's
were
a lot of fucking
between
measuring.
yeah, it took them 6 years to measure them. When the participants were now 6 years older, the researchers looked again. And they found that particularly women who smoked marijuana daily during the study were 3.1% lower than the body mass indexes of women who did not. And men were 2.7% lower for those who smoked. Not except David. No,
Well, maybe there was maybe the men had taller test subjects.
You gotta know how the difference between men and women in that respect. I think women generally have a more fat on their bodies to begin with.
Don't tell them that. Man.
Don't tell them I said that. Does this fat make me look fat? No.
What was the bit we did?
I don't remember.
Jody's in the house, and it turns out we've got an open seat and a microphone.
And
Sure, why not?
we were just speaking of low body mass indexes.
Excellent. I smoke a lot of pot.
And you have a low
You're
body
familiar
mass
with the
index.
study.
These wrists. I couldn't believe what time it was, and I said I'd come down for the show, and I was like, oh gosh, it's only 20 minutes. We're working
It's
so
time for
hard.
Congolese.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
look at that. So it's,
You've just
hello.
missed a few joints. That's pretty
oh,
much
I
all.
bet it's kind of smoky in here, but this is pretty. What's on the plate?
Well, you can be sure that's
Romulan
not
Mikado.
a weed Susie spinner. That's a real chronic Susan.
Chronic Susan.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
not too lazy.
So, I saw you on big time CTV News with
Power play.
Power Play with Don Martin.
That's right.
Cool.
He's a lovely man. I like Don. I really changed my mind about him once he started talking
You and Don
to
getting
you.
along? or what?
He's not that nice to everybody else, apparently.
No, he's not.
He's nice to you now, though, right?
Well, here's the thing. I sent him my centerfold a few years ago. I'm not even joking, actually. He asked me, so I sent it. And he said he kept it by his desk. I was like, thanks for helping me overgo the government or something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he wrote me a thing, someone stole the poster. I need a new one. I'm like,
It's like, I kind of need one for my locker at the golf clubhouse.
anyway, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I get to speak to all the movers and shakers and policymakers, as I call them. Because, see, Don Martin has CTV's Power Play. And the only other national political talk show that politicians actually go on is CBC's Power and Politics. So Power Play versus Power and Politics. Very competitive, these two. He was so upset once when I went on CBC before him because he invited me first, but they give me an earlier slot. And he's like, I just saw you on CBC.
Oh, no.
What's going on? I'm like, don't worry, I'll give you a whole new message in different words, or the same message in different words. So.
Well, Jody, like she always does, did a perfect job. And you can't say that too loosely, but it was absolutely perfect. And when you watch it, it's on Pot TV, right underneath this show. And you will see that how very good you are at this. I gotta say, like you stun me all the
I
time.
get possessed by something. I don't even know. I just start talking, and then when I'm done, I'm all like buzzing and sweating and anxious. And I'm like, what did I say? Did I say it all right? Did I use the wrong
What did I
word?
say? What just happened?
Even literally, we were just watching it with you. I thought I might accidentally say prohibition instead of legalize it. I'm always wondering if something went wrong that I wasn't aware of because I'm just in a
Well,
zone of some kind.
Your mind is ahead of you
Yeah.
for sure, and you know what you're saying at the moment for sure.
And I'll tell you, that morning, I'd already smoked some, and then I had the interview request, and I thought, should I smoke more or wait? And then I smoked some more. And then I went and did it. I'm not kidding.
Now, I believe that I've never seen anyone with the ability to do that. Like, really, you did an interview at the top of the media game, and you didn't hesitate. There was no there was no there was no searching for a word. There was nothing. It came out straight and made so much sense, right? And I was telling Jody earlier, there's not a woman on CNN can do that. There's not anybody in the biggest of biggest broadcasting that can do that.
Thank you. It was
I've been
fun.
watching her do it for years.
That's true. You did my first show, Jody's Joint. I think it was back in the alley when we
Back
had
in
this
the
little
alley.
creek set up and all
I
the
really
stones
think
and everything.
that you should resurrect your show.
I was just thinking about that. Now that we're on Facebook,
No,
are we
I was
Facebook
thinking
Living?
about that.
And there's such a massive audience on there.
No, I really think you should. I think,
It would be fun. It looks pretty professional. It would give me a reason to dress up too. You know? I'm such a goth these days again. It's like all black all the time. Unless I'm on TV, then I wore red. Because colors are powerful. Like it does have what you see is powerful, and red is a power color. So that's why I wore red and really red
Chris
lipstick in my
DeBerg knew it.
interview. So you want to like make an impact, and color has an impact. Yellow, if I wore yellow, I might be a little more subtle, or kind of almost, yellow is associated with gentleness or even cowardice sometimes, but also other good things. But, if you wear a power color, it says a lot. And it also says to the liberals who use red, you know, hey, I am one of you because I still donate to you. I don't know why I still donate to you. I want to cancel it all the time. But at the same time, I get, now that I'm a monthly donor of a small amount, I get invites to like meet members of parliament and stuff at events where I don't have to pay to do it. So I missed the last one. But the point being, you do get some access. So that's kind of the point. And it's not like they're not hearing me because they just watch me on TV. Ottawa is so funny. When Jeremiah and I were there years ago for the press conference for Mark, we went to one of the bars nearby because there's bars around Parliament. They all go and socialize. And you know, in some sports bars, you have giant screens and it's a sports game. But here they have a giant screen and it's the political talk shows. It's Don Martin and Rosie Barton of CTV and CBC Power Play. And everybody after work ends at 4:35. That's when the shows start. And everybody goes and they drink in the bars and they listen and they watch and they want to know who's saying what. And what's great about my interview yesterday was it came at the same time as the Conservatives are meeting in Halifax to rebuild their party and find a new leader. And the NDP is also meeting, and Tom Mulcair, if he's still the leader, doesn't want to go, and other people are like, yeah, maybe you should. But funnily enough, Mark just endorsed a Conservative. Maxime Bernier, I think. Maxime Bernier. He's actually a sensible conservative who does want to end prohibition. And so I haven't read everything, but apparently Mark endorsed him and he's getting some media today. Mark's been on the radio in Ottawa and getting a lot of national news about endorsing a conservative because people do get all uppity like, what? You supported the Liberals and you supported the NDP and you supported the Greens. And it's like, yeah, we support ending prohibition. We're nonpartisan. It's about the principles, not the parties. And so we'll go where the sensible people are going. Who cares what label they wear? You know, let's get some actual justice going on. And if the conservatives that are on our side, if there are some, and there are, because they smoke pot, they do, they can, you know, help punish the government that lied to us. So, you know, support who's on our side, no matter what party they're with. That's all.
And the hypocrisy continues through another story that's been running around too about how somebody had trouble getting across the U.S. border because of the marijuana admission. They admitted to having. You go, like, get in line, dude. Oh, look at in the fish tank. Don't cut to the fish tank.
Fish tank.
You're being watched.
She wouldn't want to be there.
But it's true, this border issue.
It's a rare
But
fish
it's
in
also
there.
unfair because some people
Super rare fish
can
just
go
went through there.
across the border without getting trouble.
Well, Justin Trudeau admitted to smoking marijuana, admitted to passing a joint of marijuana. That should be enough to keep you out of the U.S.
Absolutely.
It was enough for Dana Larson. He said, oh, I think I smoked marijuana once when I was 13. They banned him for life. Like, really?
And then you get the liberals making all these talking points about how, well, this is ludicrous, and we have to tell the U.S. to change their policy. And I'm like, why don't you stop arresting Canadians so that doesn't come up on the border's computer? You know, why don't you deal with them here instead of pretending that the U.S. is causing all that trouble? It's so ludicrous. That's so pretty.
Thank you.
Squirrel like a squirrel, distracted. You know, sparkly. What is this? Sorry, that's pretty.
This is a new collab between Corey Cottenham at Corey Glass on Instagram and Steve Sizelove at Steve Sizelove on Instagram.
Pretty.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
It's
Their glass game is
inaugural
strong.
voyage.
Is that
Glass game is
is that what people
strong,
would say if
Jody.
they were hip
Yeah.
and down with the 411?
There.
Nobody says that anymore.
Something, I don't know.
No.
They might even the kids nowadays might even say, "Dude, that's so heady, that's wooked out."
Wooked out. Like what? Like a Wookiee?
I don't understand it. I've heard wook pertain to good things, and I've heard wook pertain to things that are like just so out there.
And
Well, here's maybe a word that you haven't heard about. The question is, can marijuana express terroir?
Of course it can.
Terroir.
Yes.
Terroir.
Yes, 100%.
Of course, the terroir is
From
created
Lebanon
by
to
the
Morocco, it's
appellation.
different, right?
What's this? I have no idea what's going on
Right?
here.
Well, this is what happens when you sit in between.
I know, suddenly I've gotten like bam from something. But also,
Terroir.
Terroir comes from the appellation, of course. So, now an appellation is a legally defined and protected geographical indication used to identify where, say, grapes for wine were grown. Right, and then the speculation of the terroir is the influence of that
region.
geographical scenario
Yeah.
to create the flavors.
Yeah, the region
that you-
creates the profile.
okay.
There's a generic profile within a grape, but from region to region to region,
It'll
that
be
profile is enhanced in different ways.
By the soil and the sun and
Yeah,
all the
exactly,
other elements.
exactly.
Okay.
That's the terroir.
That's
So
an appellation.
An
same
appellation?
thing with
Right.
with
It's
cannabis.
not like the appellations.
That's where I thought we were talking about, and I'm like, what? I was
Not
so
like a
lost.
mountain with hillbillies.
That's I was
But,
confused.
no, that's not the appellation.
Oh, the terroir, that's saying.
I'm like, that's a fancy word for them there parts, you know.
Jimmy's trying to get an extra $100 a pound for his sang. That's
So,
So-
terroir, then what is
that's
ter-
Appalachian
terroir?
for ginseng.
So
OIR.
this concept was invented back in the 1700s by the French,
Yeah.
proving people didn't have much to do in those days, come up with this stuff. But of course, the different.
Or they just really they recognize it and they just needed a word for it.
Oh yeah, well they drank so much wine they needed to identify that this one
This
from
wine,
the
it
other.
tastes
Where
like
this one come
piss.
from?
This wine, it
Well,
does
it's-
not taste like piss.
Pretty much like us, people pass you a joint, you say, well, you know, what is this? And go, oh, where'd that come from?
Okay. Yeah, and cannabis does have that. People like to think it's
And-
come from
and-
somewhere exotic or different.
It's
So-
crazy when you become like a sommelier, and you're like, you know, you're certified as a master sommelier. You have to know, like when you taste that wine, you have to know the type of grape, the region, all of that, just by its terroir. Like it's got. Yeah.
So you could say the same goes for coffee, probably. Then,
Yeah, I'm sure there's
and
many
beer
things.
and,
Yeah, many things are affected
even
like that.
vegetables and fruits.
So this guy named Justin began the Mendocino Appellation Project. So he obtained a map of Mendocino County. Like you can tell right away this guy's a fucking genius, eh? Like he obtained a map of Mendocino County right
That's
away.
kind of cutting edge.
And then he went out and he talked to heritage farmers.
Wow.
I couldn't figure out what heritage farmers
Never heard the
were
term
or what it is. Yeah, I don't know what they were growing. They'd been growing for decades. He asked them about the unique microclimates, the watershed details, essentially the terroir that makes their strains unique to their areas. Ain't very complicated. Tastes like that because it came from over there.
It's like all Moroccan hash has that backbone. I mean, you can grow domesticated hybrids in North Africa, but it'll still produce that kind of Moroccan flavor. You'll get the domestic hybrid profile, but there'll still be that flavor. Yeah.
Well, good on Justin developing this.
Yeah,
I
well, he's
suppose.
looking into it. Now, appellations do more than bring focus to an area. They also protect the workers and business owners and prevent larger corporations from coming in and using the name of an area while not using the product from the area. Now, I don't know.
Sounds like
how-
a way to nail down some proprietary shit there.
But I'm not too sure that Mendocino can actually claim to own any of this stuff to begin with. Really?
What about the Mendo Perps, bro?
Well, the genetics for the Mendo Perps came from somewhere,
Oh yeah.
right?
Came from Mendocino.
So, it was shot out of the sky by fucking aliens from
Yeah.
Sirius 2.
Oh no, it wasn't even that. It came from Mendo. It was just
It
sprouted
just
up out of a
came
cliff.
from Mendo.
Just sprouted up out of a cliff and a condor grabbed it from the cliff and brought it down to this old hippie
Sounds beautiful.
A heritage
who
farmer.
was hand sewing
was.
hacky sacks and a patchouli farm. It's what happened, man. It's the Mendo Perp story. No, it's
The
not.
stork
but
delivered it.
It's
Great
just
baby
delivered by a
feeding.
California stork.
So really what they're talking about here actually is to have just well-known genetics grown in those areas, and they say, hey, this was grown in Mendocino. And interestingly, well, I don't know, for me anyway, in an open legal market, I will say, who cares? Because that outdoor weed from Mendocino, it's not going to compete with the rest of the world. It's gonna.
Who would make the best in the world then? Where's the best going to come from?
Well, I would have to say somewhere between indoor and places like Mexico and Colombia and Thailand and Jamaica and Hawaii and Afghanistan, places where it really comes from. And the conditions are exactly what it wants. And we can manipulate it the way we do and grow fucking killer weed, I gotta say, like for sure.
True.
So, see, the only reason that Mendocino and the Emerald Triangle, whatever they call themselves, are popular for marijuana is because it's been illegal. And they had the balls to grow pot in Central California or wherever it is, right? So eventually they go, yeah, well, this is the best. You go, well, no, it's not. Still
the best for
outdoor.
that area.
It's the best,
It's best for that
it's
region.
better than none. But, you know, really, I don't think in a competitive world. So, you know, cool enough. Maybe it will play a role, and not everyone is me. There are a lot of people would like to have whatever they like to have. So, certainly the more the merrier that's offered, but I don't know. They say, and here's the doom of it all. They say we want to be the Napa Valley of marijuana. You go, oh, well, you shouldn't have said that. You've cursed yourself. You will not be anything. Because everyone who comes out and says, I want to be the Microsoft of marijuana, they don't become that. You can't say that. You become that and say, right? You will decide if I am
Become the
that.
marijuana of marijuana.
That's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah.
Become the marijuana of marijuana.
Or just grow some weed and try to make a little bit of money and hope that it's not the best in the world, because if it is and you build an immunity to it, you're fucked.
Everything else will
That's
suck.
it. You're fucked. So you should always hope that your shit's really not the best in the world. And yeah.
Then you can discover all the great things
Yeah.
out there.
It's like what is there left if you think that's
You've reached
just
the
the best there
mountaintop,
is?
and
Yeah.
then what?
You may as well
Then
quit.
what? You're done.
Yeah, it's like, yay, I'm done.
So how is Mark doing out in Toronto?
Pretty good, actually. Well, I mean, all sorts of drama as happens with prohibition and us and everything. So if you were watching on Facebook, on his Facebook, or on our YouTube account, we have a lot of them on Pot TV, Mark was woken up one morning finding a bunch of police officers outside and let me know that that was happening, and we got the media down there. And they didn't come in, they didn't do anything, they just spent like 2 hours out front, and all the media was there, like all the mainstream big cameras, networks, and live streaming it and everything. So they were wondering what's going on. Is this a raid or not? And I tweeted at the Toronto police, don't you dare arrest Mark. And they tweeted back and said, it's not a cannabis raid, it's a landlord dispute. And we're like, what?
Huh.
But what had happened is Mark's been open for only 2 weeks or so, 2.5 maybe. And he opened up at this location that was previously a weed-friendly place. And the landlords were like, hey, come to this location. We love you. We're big fans. And we know Michelle and Jeff. And like they actually, brought up people we know, including our departed friend. And they said, like, we would love to support your vision and have your shop at our place. And then as soon as Mark opened up the next day, the landlord's property manager was in saying they had to get out and he was going to change the locks. So Mark didn't leave, and they didn't issue an eviction notice, but every day they said he had to leave. And he's like, that's not right. I paid $24,000 up front for rent that I borrowed, so, like, you guys can't kick me out. It was specifically for a weed store, and the lease does say that. So it turned into some big, weird issue, and I don't know what happened. These guys are scammers, I guess, because they have a bad landlord rating online. So it's Elliot Sudd, and these guys are scammers, really, because they knew what was going on, and now they tried to kick Mark out with nothing. But we've got a great lawyer, so Mark is getting back whatever rent, but he's also doing very well at that shop, and it's a great location with Chris Goodwin and Aaron Goodwin, so our true activist spirits and fighters are out there. And then, unfortunately, though, he does have to leave. So at the end of the month, I guess nobody really knows this, or whatever, you'll find out. Mark shares everything. But yeah, they have to leave at the end of this month. But it looks like they might have another location with a very friendly landlord that we already know is friendly because we're already out there. So this is good. This is very good, hopefully. So wish us luck on that front. But other great news, Peterborough, Ontario.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Small little city, yeah. They sold out of everything yesterday. So he had nothing left on the shelves, and he's there with an empty shop today, just telling people, don't worry, it's all coming back tomorrow. And this is like an older man who just believes in this, and he's ready to retire, but he's ready to fight. And a lot of people are like that, and my email is being flooded with people from all across this country really wanting to open up shops. So right now I'm upstairs in the office working away on our franchise model and all the stuff that we're going to figure out, because it's moving rapidly. We've only been selling weed for 4 months, and we've already got 10 locations if you include this one and the next one opening in Toronto near the
that's
stadium.
good.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
A year ago, Cannabis Culture was kind of in dire straits, and now, all things keep going well. We will continue to do what we stand for, and that's our activism message. That's our model of legalization, and people believe in it, and they want to support it, and that's great. And I was thinking, though, that we have to keep pushing the activist angle, and we do. And as I said on CTV, and I'm saying all the time, stop arresting people. Yes. I don't care how you figure out the rules about all the selling it and growing it and all that bullshit. I don't care. Stop arresting people now. And so, I was talking to Flair magazine. They're doing this profile. They keep calling me back. And she said, why do you care so much about this? There's a lot of other issues out there, important issues and stuff. And I said, yeah, well, those issues all have support. They all have big campaigns. They have politicians going to their events. They have fundraisers. They have millions of people showing up and running for this and wearing a pin for that. And like everybody else has already got their stuff. But we're illegal and we're criminals. And no, it's harder. We need to... we need to fight for these marginalized people. It's like fighting for prisoners. And, a lot of people say, screw you, you're breaking the law, you hedonist, you just want to get high, screw you, you should get arrested. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. It's not about the right to get high. It's about not getting arrested for that choice. Choice being the key word there. So, that's what we have to fight for and push for. And I said to this reporter, you know what? If I was told I had to never ever smoke pot again, but there would never be any arrests again, I would quit right this second, right now. I'd miss it. I'd miss it so much. But if, that's what it means to me. It's not about me getting high. It's not about that. It's about the bigger issue. And so that's what our brand represents to so many people. And that's why, they've seen us already get raided twice and arrested and dragged out in handcuffs and shut down, and we open up, and people think that's what they want to be part of. So if you really do have the true spirit and motives, get in touch, because we're not like trying to milk anybody. We want to make this something very strong, that every cannabis culture will be a place where you can buy and consume marijuana on site. Why not? That's the vision.
No, that's the way it should be. We'll oversell them now is what we have to do with the dispensaries. Get as many open as possible so that when the Chamber of Commerce logic sinks in, they'll go, oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll see the job.
Let's just license these people that are doing it already, and, well, it'll be a big fight every inch of the way for sure, because you have to expunge records and allow people with marijuana records to be involved in the industry. Why the hell wouldn't you? Like, really? Like, why wouldn't you?
Well, if they're going to steal the model that, the people who were in the trenches that were getting arrested kind of set, if they're going to steal that model, they should at least let those people play.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking
Just
ridiculous.
like, I think it was in Oakland, they said, drug war reparations, that they would make sure they would hire people who got busted for pot just because they should have some kind of priority almost. That is a major issue. We have to address that, too.
It is being questioned in the United States. There was an article in LA Weekly yesterday about, I think the headline said, is the marijuana industry white? Well, yeah, because every other industry is.
Yeah. And just like kind of how you just mentioned, it's like every other industry, and we're talking about like laws and always having to fight and all this. I'm reading a book where someone who helped build out Starbucks has a part where they talk about, it's a major part of business is being ready to deal with government bullshit because they're going to put every kind of bylaw against you. Like Starbucks has to go and fight to be able to put a couple tables outside a coffee shop in a certain city because the regulations say that if you have 5 tables, you're a restaurant, but if you have only 2, whatever. Like this is stupid little piddly stuff that we all know drives people crazy, whether you're building a house or whether you're trying to pay taxes or whatever. Government just drives you nuts, and they strangle you to death with red tape, right? Or death by 1,000 red tape paper cuts. They kill you with all this over-regulation. So even if you're a legit business like Starbucks and all these other ones, you still have to deal with government BS. And now we, the marijuana industry, are coming into this and being like, really?
God.
How come you guys are paying? How come you're following all these stupid rules? Like, we've been used to not having to follow rules, and now they want us to follow rules. And I'm thinking, no, why don't you guys and your other mainstream businesses start questioning why you have to follow too many stupid, agonizing rules that are expensive and restrictive and actually kill businesses? Like, let's talk about overregulation, not about how we want to be the Wild West. Let's talk about how we can represent what businesses should be like. We employ people. They get good wages, they get benefits, we help people, we build a lot of businesses, we pay taxes, we do the bare minimum. What more do you want? Stop strangling us. So that's kind of the next step. Yeah. I don't know.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know.
She's got different writers than us.
I think
I
so.
should be writing that. If somebody can type that up for me, then I should write more, but instead I just talk. It's so much easier.
Well said.
And here, I was high the whole time. There you go.
Me too.
I was impaired, can't you
Oddly
tell?
enough, yeah.
Oh.
Very impaired.
Yeah, so the fight continues out there in the world, and we will continue here at Cannabis Culture fighting that fight.
Yep.
So we do appreciate all those people who are active out there doing your part. Write to as many people. Like you can respond to stuff online, do it. And, get your point of view out there that you want marijuana legalized, people left alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stunned, really, when I think about it, how I don't know, the government, the doctors, the banks, they're all against us, right? They just willy-nilly have just these people are bad. There's millions of Canadians have admitted smoking marijuana regularly. They go, what the fuck? You are an elected official or a public servant. You're saying that we should completely ignore a portion of our citizenry. Completely.
And
Fuck
a
them.
huge number of them.
Yeah, fuck them. You can't say that. Like, you just can't. Marijuana activists. I noticed the Health Canada questionnaire that they put out. There was a little box that you had to click if you were a marijuana activist.
Because they want to know which ones to immediately send to the trash bin.
Like, I really couldn't. I tried to figure it out. I could not figure out why they needed to know that or why they would want to. It made no difference.
I honestly think it's because they'd like to somehow be able to prove to themselves that anybody who clicked off marijuana activist, of which there would be many who call themselves that, they want to be able to discount them and say, these people are clearly, in a group that we don't want to work with. Because wasn't there even a news story last year or months ago where they said Bill Blair, he said, we're not going to meet with activists at all. Is that what didn't he say that? Didn't he say straight up no activists at all?
He
I'm
did
pretty
say that.
sure, because I was offended because I tried to be on their task force and the health minister said okay, and he said
Yeah,
no,
actually, I had
and
to
he
block
said
his
no
number.
activists at all. So that's their deal.
It's
They
an
don't want our
unusual
input.
thing. Like, it's totally unexpected by me after all these years that they would completely turn on you if you were an activist. Right? Now, I appreciate their position where they can't potentially say, go out there and break the law. Right? Like, I think that...
disagree with that statement.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good survey. I thought we followed it.
really short survey. But
We followed Al for 13 years until this moment when he said that. No, I don't even
What's going on here?
remember
Can
us
I do the
talking
camera on you doing that thing?
because
Should I do this?
I didn't get the right drop
It's kind
I
of
on it
it's
proper,
kind of
kind
a rigged rig,
Don't get too much close.
but it is working, and marijuana smokers are very persistent and innovative.
Oh yeah.
We will adapt and overcome to be able to smoke our marijuana somehow.
MacGyver.
It only takes minutes out there in the world to figure out a way to smoke weed.
And I can tell you of a way that it doesn't work where I tried in desperation to do it, if I could say that. I mean, I was, where were we? We were somewhere in a different country recently. Why can't I
That was
remember?
tasty.
Poland. It's not a whole lot of pot in Poland for smoking.
Yeah, it's all Slovenian. All the pot in
And so we
Poland
had
is
enough for some
Slovenia.
joints, right? But at the end of it, there were only a few little bits, and there was no pipe. There was nothing I could use for a pipe. But there was a glass tabletop like this, right? And I thought, what if you like rolled up a tube of paper and you like burned the weed on the table and just kind of hoped you could inhale the poof of the, didn't work. Just saying, for me, it did not work. I just wasted the last little crumbs, and I got all right. Okay, it wasn't meant to be. All the other joints are fine, but when you get that point, you're kind of going, wait a minute, this is a little ridiculous. But we were waiting for our next flight out, and it was like I'm just bored waiting.
Yeah,
and so I
this
was like,
is
what are you
what
gonna do?
Jody Emery does when she's bored. Just
Trying to
plays
figure
with marijuana on the counter.
Dust.
And
I wonder if I can. Crazy.
oh, if they could only do a reality TV show about this place, they would
I
be the
said that was
greatest,
not allowed.
funniest thing ever.
No.
Well, I'm glad you could join us.
No, I'm
today.
glad it popped in too. Thanks for having me and obviously getting me talkative and high with Congolese. Was that? Oh
A
Congolese.
little
my
bit of
goodness.
Congolese, a little bit of Bubba's
A
bling.
chatty lees or something.
Some chattilese.
Chatty Jody at this point. Very big. But thank you. I'm under the influence.
Yeah.
Over the
no,
influence?
Same.
Over the
us.
rainbow.
Under the influence.
High as a unicorn.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks a lot to everybody who joined us today. Carly was here for a bit. Jeremiah was in the house. And we'll try to join you next week. Don't forget to check out the Prairie Cup coming up at the end of the month. The Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup in Saskatoon.
You're
Prairie Cup.
hosting, aren't you, with Jeremiah? You guys helping
Well,
out
I don't know
with
about
it?
hosting, but I'm going to be
You're
helping doing
insane.
something.
Yeah, I thought you were going out there. I'm going to come out there too. I gotta
We're
write
just
that
gonna,
for
I'll just be off to the side heckling Matt. Are you gonna go?
Yes, I am going to go. Mark
Nice.
can't make it, but I will. And Mark and I are hosting some sort of event in Victoria, the Grassroots, on October 1st and 2nd. And this weekend is the Lift
Wow.
Expo here in Vancouver. They've been
Yes.
doing crazy
Yep.
amounts of promotion, and we actually have a booth there. So we're going to
Nice.
have some cannabis on display and glass and all that stuff, and let people know that we're here and we're proud, and they're here because this place is here. If we could just squeeze in that little bit of credit to Mark Emery
Yeah.
and 22 years of activism in Vancouver, of never giving up and never stopping, and breaking the law by selling pot magazines. And then now we have a gigantic expo happening in here in town, along with a lot of big business
Try
conferences.
not to forget.
Yeah, there's a lot of great history out there, guys.
Wasn't that long ago
Yeah, it
to
wasn't.
forget
No,
that
but-
people have done a lot to bring them to. There was an advisor advising the cannabis industry, suggesting that there's going to be a lot of arrests and a lot of businesses shut down. And I thought, what the fuck, dude? You wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the black market.
Yeah, exactly. Look
Like
who's
you took all
benefiting.
the genetics, you take all the growing techniques, you take all the prices, you take it, and you haven't done anything. You haven't advanced it a bit.
Yeah, it's funny. They take the
Just growing
genetics
weed.
and then they have to change the names.
And then
It's like-
because they don't have the right energy. Like, honestly, if you believe in this stuff, if you can get kind of hippie-ish for a second, but, your intention goes into the stuff you make. And if you grow things and you don't grow it with a good reason, then you're going to come out with crappy product. It's just what every other, a crappy GMO apple is very different from an heirloom type variety
I
or
had a
whatever.
great
picked,
apple today.
or like a little tiny red strawberry that's grown out of your garden and it's just the size of your thumb and it's the best strawberry in the world, other than those giant ones that are white on the inside and freakish. I mean,
taste
look
sour.
At, yeah,
It's
look
like,
at the
what the
the
fuck is this
motive
thing?
behind those products, because that's what every business does. There's some sort of motive, and for us, I'll admit it, our motive is profit, because without profit, we can't do anything for activism. We can't fund any sort of events or political campaigns. And we can't give our employees raises. And we're giving all of our employees a raise this month up ahead, because that's what we need profit for. Everybody wants money, because money is freedom, and there's
Gotta
nothing
eat.
wrong with having money if you do it ethically. If you don't hurt anybody, you don't steal, you deserve to have money and earn money. The government takes almost half of your money in taxes, and we're all just sick of that. You should be wanting money if you're going to use it for good, and every charity depends on money. A charity is worthless if there's not people willing to fund it, and so that's why a profit-driven business model with principles behind it is really one of the best sort of ways we can change the world, by giving people jobs and economic independence and liberation. And that's what Mark always pushed with the seeds. It was like, yeah, I'm selling these seeds and using profit, and I'm going to use that to fund activism. And he gave it all away. 6 years ago on the 10th, he was sentenced to that 5 years, and now he's home, and we're doing what we're doing, and we're breaking the law, because the only way to change the law is to break the law. And if they're going to force us to break the law to change it over and over again, well, so be it. We've been through it.
It's
So.
the only choice is they leave us.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. So, activism inspired businesses. So thanks for supporting our vision and mission if you're at our shops. And cannabisculturedispensary.com is a website with some of our locations, and we're going to add to it. Yeah. All right, there you go.
All right.
Wrap it up. Plug. All plugged in.
Beautifully done. All right, we're going to get out of here.
was
Thanks to Al and for being here as always, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to see
Thanks
you.
thanks to Corey Cottonham and
Nice
Steve
piece.
Sideslove for blowing this heater.
Looks like a
And
planet.
to Alyssa
It's
for
crazy.
helping us out too.
Always.
And
the
Kush
producer.
Queen, wherever you are, hope safe and sound. Probably on the beach.
Might be on the
Nice
beach
out
today.
Yeah.
Was a beach
The
day for sure.
Soyuz or something like
We
that.
get a nice
Down.
late summer
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
where
weather.
she is.
Yay.
All right. Well, to all you new viewers that joined us, hope you're still awake. And join us next week, too, and see what we're up to. But until then, I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.